some guy. We were at SOS, and I think he was trying to like slight me. You know, he was a good dude, but he was just making a joke. And he was like, "Okay, so the F-16 has a 20 millimeter cannon." I was like, "That's right." And he's like, "And the A-10 is a 30 millimeter cannon." I was like, "That's right." And he's like, "So if you do the math, it's not just like 10 millimeter larger. It's like 100% larger of like the overall bullet size." And I was like, yeah, that checks. Like you are correct. And it doesn't even hurt my feelings. Like I am impressed with it as well. You know, like it is. Well, you look at, like the A-10s use their gun on buildings, and, they're like, "Oh, you got somebody in the building. I'll just shoot him inside," and you're like the F-16, and it looks like someone's setting off M80s on the roof, and the A-10 shoots it, and it's like Swiss cheese. And you're, holy smokes. All right. Good work. Solid gun.
I watched one A-10 on the strafe, and it was just a single round that hit this ISIS individual who then like no longer existed after it. But I mean, you're shooting forearms at people that have grenades.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It'd be a fun gun to shoot just once.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yep. That's always my favorite ride in the B course is when the test pilot school guys come out and they get one ride in the A-10, and there's like a run card thing that they got to do with a bunch of nerdy stuff on it, but most of them just scoff it and just go straight to the range and just, we're just going to shoot all the bullets. We're going to ripple the pot of rockets. I always try to negotiate with the top three to give them some extra rounds. It's always fun. It's A-10 appreciation day for them for sure.
That's cool.
Yeah. What's the gun pod? The F-35 gun pods for the Navy and Marines. They might only be 25 millimeter, but they might be 30 millimeter. I'll have to look that up. That'd be pretty.
I think it's more 25. They tried to do the 30 millimeter. I think they tried a 30 millimeter pod on the Viper way back in Gulf War I times when they did that weird Delta version like F-16 XL and all the other stuff. But I mean, you can't it's when you try to strap something like that onto a jet, you run into so many engineering problems, accuracy problems, vibration problem, all that stuff, and it's just nowhere near as effective as a purpose-built gun with wings and engines on it, and it's just super accurate and super effective.
Yeah, I think the coolest part too is like the flight controls locking out on the A-10 when you pull the trigger is like half detent. The flight controls lock out. I could really use that in the Viper on strafing.
I think
Zorro the target.
I think you got it. So shout out to my homies at the 416th still doing the Lord's work out there, but I'm pretty sure it was called like Death Claw or something, where it basically does the same thing, where it engages the autopilot of the jet on the first detent and effectively locks the pipper onto whatever you've got it on the ground, and it'll dampen out any turbulence or whatever that's impacting your aim, and it just makes for way more accurate shots. So I don't know which blocks or variants got that, but I think it's pretty effective, is my understanding.
Yeah, turbulence is always affecting me on the strafing run. That's the issue. So I need a turbulence dampening flight control logic.
It wasn't the fact that I was 450 knots trying to extend the speed brakes while I'm trying to shoot the gun.
Right.
And
with the flight control logic, the flight control logic switch over like what, 425 or something?
Yeah, is that 0.7 to 0.9 Mach? Yeah. So once you got above that, it was all over the place.
Yep. That was my issue every time.
Yeah, Death Claw.
It's got a good spread though. I mean, I killed some stuff with the gun. I just had to, hit a lot of empty space first, but eventually I found the thing.
Well, that's why you got 100 rounds per second, instead of 70 rounds per second. You need a few extra rounds per second.